You heard it here first. Your bubble is about to burst. We have it all, pop culture and astro, true crime and all you need to know. You heard it here first.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Femme Tarot. I'm Natalie, your international psychic medium, and as you know, you're in the right place if you don't want any fluff and you want us to cut straight to the truth. Also, a reminder that everything that we say here is for entertainment purposes only, and they're based on my psychic abilities and the psychic insights that I receive from spirit. How is everybody? Everybody, I keep doing it every time. Everybody doing happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I'm 2 minutes early, but I couldn't wait to see you and I couldn't wait to say hello to all of you beautiful femmies out there. How was your week? How was your weekend? How's everybody doing? A big warm hello and happy Sunday to you too, Allison, and everybody in the chat. And Anna as well. Happy Sunday. Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Hello, Ashley. It's so good to see you all. The Femmies are in the house. Also, replay crew, I will be adding down below timestamp. So if you want to skip ahead to either David's reading or Lindsay Clancy's reading, then you are most welcome. If you just want to watch the whole thing or the whole show, that's even better, right? But it's up to you. It's up to you. Good to hear that, Rafaela. We're great. Hope you're too. I am as well. Well, somewhat, because you've probably heard about the wildfires in Spain and the south of France. Well, guess what? Greece is not exempt from the wildfires. Currently, we have 74 active wildfires. It is bad, very, very, very bad, especially because one of the fires, which is not far from Athens, but it is quite close to where my dad and stepmom have their summer house. They had to evacuate yesterday. Actually, we were meant to go and visit them yesterday for the day, to go swimming, go for lunch, just see them and spend time with them. They called me in the morning. They're like, it's so bad. The smoke is so bad. The electricity is down, power's out. We're evacuating. We're going back home. So now we're on alert. We're on alert. They can't put that fire out. It's called a mega fire because of the very, very strong winds that we've had the past few days. And it's created sort of like a its own micro climate in this fire, and like little like tornadoes are forming because of the power of the fire and the storm and all that. So they cannot control it, even with plane bombs, water bombs, all of that. It's bad. So yeah. But unfortunately, this is something that, and I'm saying this, I'm saying the word unfortunately, sadly, that this is something that we're experiencing here in Europe, and especially the Mediterranean countries for the last decade. I want to say every summer there are these massive wildfires that just burn acres and acres and acres of land and burns animals, displaces people, animals. It's just so heartbreaking. I mean, Australia too is very familiar, unfortunately, with wildfires. Canada, up until recently, it's just getting bad. Now, speaking of fires, you guys, hear me out. I know I said last week that I would go live and I would record some videos. I'm really sorry, but it was a busy week with the family and the kids. But I am planning tomorrow. Look at this. I want to share this with you. These are more predictions. Look at this. These are my notes. 1 page. 2, 3, 4.5 pages of predictions, downloads, visions that I've had. And it involves a lot of countries, it involves a lot of entertainment industry. Just there's a lot in here, Epstein stuff. There's a lot of stuff, medical stuff that I have received. So I'm going to record this all tomorrow because I just want to put all of my notes in order. All right. And this is going to be recorded tomorrow and uploaded hopefully by Tuesday. So if I don't need too much editing on the video, then I could upload it tomorrow. So that's one video that's coming up for you guys this upcoming week. The other videos, look, I've written down what I've got to do for you. Okay, hear me out. So I've written here predictions, world events, which is coming up. The next one is, as you guys know, the Lionsgate is open. The 888 portal is open. So what I will do, but on the 12th, we have a total solar eclipse in Leo. This is going to be, it's going to be quite the eclipse. So what I'm planning to do next week is I'm going to record for all zodiac signs what this means for the next 6 months, because the eclipse energy lasts about 6 months. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to do a video on what you guys should expect energetically, okay, for the next 6 months after the eclipse happens. That's the next video. Then, all right, so from my list, from things that you guys have suggested here, unless there's another one that you want me to replace it with, which is more popular, more people are interested in. So I've written here, I wrote down my list, Houston Bayou, 6 dead. So I haven't looked into that, but I wrote that someone or several people suggested that one, so I wrote that down. There's another one for my UK viewers here. I want to do this for you guys. Jill Dando. A lot of questions around the unaliving of Jill Dando. This is going to come up too. And then I've written here, Dashad. Did I write it correctly? Sage Smith. No idea which true crime case this is, but a lot of you asked for this one. So these are the ones that I'm planning to do with priority. I'm prioritizing the prediction and the eclipse readings for you guys. And then the other 3 true crime ones that will come up. Unless you guys want something else, just down below in the comments, just add suggestions and then I'll write them down, because the list is growing and that's why I need to start doing these readings for you guys. Joey says, Celine Dion, what's going on with her energetically? Yes, that's true. Let me write this down on this list, because on my other list, it's just too long. Because that one is several people have asked me for that one. Celine Dion energy. Okay. Let's see. Highlight mission. Hope you're doing well. Happy Sunday. Hi, Rosie. Happy Sunday to you, girl. I hope you're doing well too. Clancy case. Yes. So we're going, okay, we'll start with the David case. Okay. Because I've covered that one. I've done a reading on that. 10 months ago, I did a whole reading on David, and I want to share with you a couple of clips of what I said back then. And then I'm going to do a reading on his trial. Okay. So how is that going to go for him? What is the outcome of that and all that? So that's going to be a shorter reading. And then I want to focus on Lindsay Clancy. All right. So before we start all of these readings, because they are sensitive topics, and especially the Lindsay Clancy, because it has to do with the unaliving of her 3 kids. It can be disturbing quite a bit. It can be triggering. So trigger warning. Okay. I'm prepared for this for the most part. But as you know, readings that involve kids are not easy. Okay. They're not easy, but we have to do them. We have to do them because the Lindsay Clancy one is especially interesting. It also opens up a conversation about postpartum depression, which is very important. I had it with my firstborn, with my daughter. When she was born, I had a postpartum depression. It wasn't terrible. I didn't go into psychosis or anything like that, but it was quite heavy. So I will cover this one as sensitively as I can. But again, I just have to give you what I receive, what I get, what I'm picking up on. And let's see, this is an ongoing trial. So the trial is happening now in Massachusetts, I believe. So we'll get to that afterwards. We'll do David first. All right. So, but before we do, a quick hello to everybody. Dudesy says, you love the hat. Thank you. So I had it done today. My hair colorist, Bill, who watches the show as well, came in today, and I had low lights because I was so, as you guys know, I'm trying to like darken my hair a little bit because the platinum, the bleach blonde is just too much and it dries out my hair. So I'm glad you like it. I'm still in shock. I'm like, oh my God, it's too dark. But he said, you know, after a couple of washes, the low lights are going to blend in with the rest of the blonde. So we'll see how that turns out. I think I like it. I like it. I like it. It's fresh. It's fresh. You know, it's easy to bleach your hair. It's not easy when you've got bleached hair to go darker. So at the end of the day, if I don't like it, I can always bleach it back. But thank you, everybody, for your kind words and for the compliments. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. Hello, Alexander is in the house. We haven't seen you in a minute. I hope you're doing well. Alexa says, I can't wait for the eclipse zodiac readings. I thought this would be very helpful for you. So I'm going to do that. I'm on it. I will be on it tomorrow. I'm going to sit down here, you know, like 4 hours, 5 hours, however long, all of these readings, not all of them, the predictions, the zodiac, the eclipse readings. I'm going to do them. Okay, you guys? Unless there's some kind of emergency. I hope my parents' summer house doesn't burn down. Okay, there's that. Well, I have a couple of things to which I'm going to add in my predictions video. So don't worry about those two. Thank you. You were missed too. I was thinking of you guys. That's why I was keeping you updated here and there about my vacation. Thank you, you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you all like it. So you all approve, because I need to get your approval here. Okay, I'm glad, because I was like, when he did it, and I looked in the mirror, I was like, and he's like, chill, chill, you know, after a couple of washes. And I'm like, too dark. Yeah, Pink Diamond. It's on my short list. So don't worry, here's my short list over here. And I have Celine Dion as well written down. So good. I'm good to hear that, Alexander. Good to see you, of course. All right, you guys, shall we? Phyllis says, we totally approve. Good. If you don't approve, you can let me know. Okay, dokie. Hydration break. Awesome. Yeah, it's YouTube. YouTube is being YouTube. Temperamental YouTube here, you know? It's just make sure that you guys are subscribed or your notifications are on, because I realized while I was on holiday, you know, I was just going through like my subs on YouTube, and I realized that I was unsubbed by several creators that I enjoy their videos. I was like, because it came to me, I was like, why haven't I seen any videos from this creator or that creator? And then I just realized that I was unsubscribed for whatever reason. But that's YouTube. And especially now, as YouTube is cracking down on the AI slop, this is what happens every few months. Okay, YouTube unleashes its AI, the irony of it, its AI agents to crack down on AI slop or anything that could be copyright stricken or anything like that. And usually when that happens, it affects us, all of us who are YouTube users, because it can affect like your subscriptions and who you're subscribed to and all of that stuff. But, you know, that's why once in a while, make sure that you check that everything is in order. All righty. So let's get to David, because first of all, I've been getting from the initial reading that I did 10 months ago, Let me bring him up real quick so we know it's also easier for me to timestamp. So this is David. He looks worse for wear, that's for sure. Over here, he should be, with everything that's come out during the preliminary hearing. So I got a lot of, not a lot, but I got quite a bit of backlash in that, under that reading, under that video. And people are like, especially now, people are rewatching or they're watching it for the first time. They're all like, "Are you happy now with your reading?" They're like just being very aggressive and negative. Some of the comments are still up there. I hardly delete comments. Sometimes I will if it's insulting to someone, okay, whether it's a guest or whether it's about someone we talk about, or if they're one of these crazies that are out there and they're like, "You've got to open your heart to Jesus and the word of God, and this is Satan's work," and blah, blah. I'm like, delete, but I don't always, sometimes I miss things. So let's get to David. Let's look at what's been going on because it doesn't look good for him. Okay. So I just want to see how the trial's going to go and what does this mean for him? Because what is unsure is whether he's going to get the death penalty or life. Okay. If he's found guilty. What is also interesting is that during the trial or the preliminary hearing, his mom came up, Celeste's mom came up. And if you remember, I spent a lot of time talking about Celeste's mom in that reading because she kept coming up, like her energy was super, super strong. And what I realized was that the the defense actually claims that Celeste's family was aware of her trips and her relationship with David, which is exactly what I said 10 months ago when Celeste was found. That the mom, all that BS that, "Oh, she went missing, we didn't know where she was a runaway kid, blah, blah, blah." It was all BS. And as you know, I can smell the BS from miles away. And this was complete BS because she was aware and she approved. And if you remember, and I will play you, actually, what I want to do is before we start the reading, okay, I want to play you a couple of short clips of what I said during that reading, just to refresh our memory, just to see what I said back then, and then we'll start. Okay, Joey says we don't have death penalty and say probably life for him. I read somewhere that also for some reason, where's the trial? Is it? Yeah, it is in LA because they found her in LA, right? Yeah, so it's in California. So anyways, I'll read the cards. I'm not, a legal expert here. I'm the spirit expert. So we'll look into it. We'll see. All right, let me play you a couple of clips of what I said back then. I believe, based on what I'm seeing in this reading and what I got before we started this live, he didn't do this. Okay, but I do believe that he covered for this. This was not a surprise to him. This is what I'm trying to say. It was doing great, amazingly. And he just, I believe that someone else did it to her. That's the other man. That's the man that I saw before. Someone else did it, did this to her. And I believe he found her. David did. And try to cover for it because it's stupid, dumb what he did. If this is what he did, but this is according to this reading. He tried to find a way to get rid of the body, all right? Because he was afraid because of her age, because of the history, because of all of that he was going to get and deep, no one would believe him that he didn't do it. So he decided to cover that by getting rid of the body. But he left it in his Tesla, which, again, I feel that he panicked, didn't think things through. He said, okay, I'll park it there. I'll figure this out. I have to do this tour. I have this concert. When I come back, I will figure things out. But it was hot. It was hot. Sped up the process of decomposition. But I don't think he did it. I don't think he did it. Ace of Swords. Who did it? It was a man. I told you there's more than one, but I feel the man was the one, like the main person. Someone in that room. That man was in that room that I was shown. All right, so that was this. And then I want to play this next clip. And while I'm playing the clip, I'm asking the cards, I'm asking spirit, and I'm just seeing what I'm getting. Okay, I'm already starting to connect regarding this case. So let me just play this one. Means someone's been doing something naughty, sneaky, backstabbing. This is also backstabbing. So we're trying to, bear with me, okay? This might be long, but we're trying to piece the pieces together, and we're trying to unravel this mystery. I want to go back to what we saw in that text. David said, don't worry about you not making it to the concert because they won't let you. I'll fix it. I have a sneaking suspicion because she went missing. She was missing since April 2024, and then she reappeared, and then she went missing again. I believe that David was giving her mom money, was bribing the mom of Celeste in order for him to spend time with Celeste and have her live with him, or in a house or an apartment somewhere, right? This is what I'm getting from this. The Tower. We're still reading the mom. The Tower. Disaster. I don't see Page of Swords. Page is a child. The mom, I don't believe that the mom believed that Celeste went missing back in 2024. I don't. I think she was covering her tracks, because people were asking questions. What is she going to say? What is she going to say? Oh, you know what? There's this young up and coming artist, in love with my daughter. You know what? She does my head in. She annoys the crap out of me. She's a teenager. I just took money off of him for her to go and stay with him, even though she's underage. She's a minor and he isn't. So to me, she's covering her tracks here. She's covering. She knew where her daughter was. So I know the preliminary hearing was disturbing for especially the people who are covering or were covering it. It was quite disturbing because they had to also see the images of how Celeste was found and the way that she was found. And something that I've said from the beginning was that what I got back then at a very random time, when Celeste was found, this was almost a year ago, at a very random time, I think I was doom scrolling or I was doing something, and suddenly I just saw that she was stabbed 16 times, because I saw the number 16 as well. It was brutal. I mean, the way they executed this unaliving was brutal. And it's, you know what? It just makes you think, whoever did it, because again, David, we don't know, right? It's an ongoing case, it's an ongoing trial. And I've said it from the beginning, like every time I read him, I'm not saying he's innocent. Don't get me wrong. He is guilty. There's so many things he's guilty about. and including about what happened to her, because if it wasn't for him and the people he associates with and the people he put Celeste in he included Celeste in groups where these people were predators and they were hanging out with other minors and other kids, okay? And he, in my eyes, he's guilty, but what I stand by what I said. I'm not sure, okay? And I believe that he's not the one who did it. I'm not saying he's innocent. He's not the one who stabbed and cut her and all of the horrible things that they did to her. But I'm not saying that he wasn't the one who gave the order or wasn't present or that he didn't know about it. I said it in that video. He knew and he wanted to find a hiding spot for Celeste's body until he was able to finish his tour and figure out what's the best way of disposing of her body. But I've always said there's another guy. Actually, there are three guys, but there's another guy that I feel is the one responsible. And this is someone older than David and someone who has more power than David. Okay. Again, he is innocent. Excuse me, take it back. He is guilty for many reasons. All right. But let's see what I got. So while the video was playing, I pulled some cards. Initially, I took the oracle cards and then I couldn't feel the connection here. So I'm like, okay, let's stick to tarot today. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes I may not have, or it's the deck telling me this is the wrong kind of deck for this reading. So, all right. So I asked, how's the trial gonna go for David? Okay, how is it gonna go? Two of Swords. So things are not clear yet, okay? Energetically, there isn't a set outcome for David yet, okay? Because there's the Two of Swords. And look, just like Justice, who's blind and she's blinded, she's blind as well. But then you have the two and the two crows, the two ravens here. So, and it is swords. So it can go either way, okay? It can go, depends. I feel that if David's legal team, I don't know when the trial is, to be honest, but if they have enough time to do an investigation, or maybe that's the other thing that I was getting before I started the live, was that David might realize that he can't get out of this. Okay. And he's going to throw that man under the bus. So far, he's pleading not guilty. He's saying, I'm not guilty. Okay. Four of Wands, he stands by his innocence and he will continue standing by his innocence. He's not, I don't feel that they're going to go for a plea deal or anything like that. I feel that he's going to stick to his guns here. The Fool. Things are going to come up during the trial and he's going to act stupid, crazy, innocent. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Where did you hear that? You know? And that's going to create doubt to the jury, I feel. 10 of Cups are going to lean a lot into this relationship and the type of relationship that he had with Celeste. And Celeste, it was sort of like a fairy tale kind of relationship, because here we have a smitten young girl, minor, again, let me remind you, underage, who is in a or who falls for this up and coming artist or artist. She's all smitten by him. He buys her stuff. He takes her places. And I feel like at least David's team, the defense is going to really lean on this relationship. Like, look, Celeste's family, were completely, what's the word I'm looking for? Neglectful towards her. They didn't care whether she was hanging out with him or living with him and all that. And look at this. They're probably going to show pictures and videos and stuff of them together, all lovey-dovey and in love and blah, blah, blah. So they're going to paint that picture. Excuse me. Someone doesn't want me to talk because it happens. Excuse me. Someone doesn't want me talking, but I will. I will. Oh my God. Someone's attacking my throat chakra here. Excuse me. Okay. Now, the next question I ask, and I pull 2 cards, is show me David's energy now. What is he feeling? What is he thinking? 5 of Swords. He may seem like he's all cool, and especially in trial or in the preliminary hearing, there were reports that, he was emotionless and he was expressionless and all that stuff. He's acting like maybe he's also following his lawyer's directions, you shouldn't show emotions, all of that stuff, but he's crapping bricks. He's so worried about, what's interesting, I just felt and heard, is that he's more, which just shows you who he is and his personality. He's more worried. He believes that he will get away with it. Because listen, even if he's not the one who stabbed her, he is responsible, all right? Because this is concealment, or he's an accessory. So I feel he lives in his own little bubble and in denial. And that's why, you heard it here first, he will sing like a canary to his lawyers. Eventually, when the going gets tough, excuse me, he's going to realize that, oh, you know what? I can't get out of this. So I need to pull the ace. Yeah. And 6 of Pentacles. There's been, and I've said this from day one because I've seen it from day one, there is a lot of money and currency exchange between David. I said back then, Celeste's mom, in my opinion, okay, everything we say here is based on my opinions, and for entertainment purposes only, and probably this guy and this group of men that I've seen him being surrounded by. Like, I see these men. So whether I see a bodyguard or a security guy, there's a manager, they're friends, there's a cousin that hangs out with him or hanged out with him because now he's in jail. So, you know what? They all, or most of these people, know exactly who and what and how. Okay. And we'll see. I feel like there's still 8 of Cups. Look at this. I just pulled the 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups is when you leave your emotional baggage behind. When you feel like you've done a lot of work and you're now ready to move on from something. You're moving on from something, which is interesting. Let me pull one. I know they don't want me to. I'll try. Hold on. Imagine. As soon as I saw this card, I thought of Celeste. And if you remember, she was blocking me last time from talking about David. And earlier on, while I was doing prep for this live, I was talking to her. I was connecting to her. I'm like, Celeste, are you ready now? Do you want to say anything now that he's in jail, now that there's a trial coming up? And nope. I kind of feel her, but I just don't. Listen, I'm going to leave the door open for her now. I'm doing this now. I'm talking to her. Step forward. Just share whatever you want to share. You don't have to give us everything. Just we want to hear from you, Celeste, because what you went through was horrible. So I'm leaving the door open. Let's see. Imagine she's okay. What I'm seeing is that she's very much around here on Earth, and she's following everything. She was following the preliminary hearing. She's going to be around when the trial starts. She is watching and following everyone who talks about this, anyone who's like in the public sphere and talks about it, which is very interesting. So hold on. I think I feel like I can. I'm just going to pull her forward. Hold on. Hi. Big smile. Are you ready to talk? Oh, she's hiding her hands behind her. Why? She says they're deformed and one was almost amputated. That's horrible. You guys, just trigger warning. I just also have to be careful how I say things on YouTube. So she's got her hands behind her like this. She also said that she was restrained initially behind her back. So her hands were behind her back. They were tied up. Is there anything else you want to share? She loved kittens. I don't know why she's saying that, but I'll just share everything she's saying. She loved kittens. I do see kittens around her, especially orange kittens. She was obsessed with orange kittens or cats. She's showing me Garfield now, the cartoon. Okay. I'll tell you what she's saying and why she didn't want to connect, not just with me, with a lot of other mediums as well in the past, was because she felt very guilty and she felt responsible for how things turned out. Because she said that she lost control of herself by dating David, by seeing him. He was cheating. There were other girls. She was aware of it towards the end. She felt he wanted to break up with her. There would be on and off a lot. She's saying that we're both. She was the young one, okay? She was the kid, but she says both very, very immature, and their reactions were very emotional, and it would be eruptions. And she said she feels guilty for what happened to her. Not guilty. She feels responsible for what happened to her because she said that in the end, things were very volatile at the end before all this happened with him. And she did threaten and accuse him. And she threatened to go public with it. I'm being shown a video that she actually did record, but privated. She never uploaded it, made it public. But there is a video that she did make when she was hysterical, where she talks about him and she really wanted to destroy his career and teach him a lesson. So she says there are a lot of things that happened between them that eventually led to what happened. She didn't see it coming. She could never see this coming. She says, or I was in denial and didn't want to see it. Yeah, he was surrounded by very shady people. Yes, he was into younger girls. He saw nothing wrong with dating and sleeping with underage girls. She's also saying there were substances involved, not when when she passed, the day she passed too, because she wasn't herself. She was under something. Um, Several things, she says. She says, though, although she wasn't a stranger to substances, she started using regularly, etc., when she became part of his group. Uh She says he lies a lot. He lies. He's a master manipulator. He lies so effortlessly and seamlessly, you can't tell. He can get away. He's always got away uh, from trouble, and like he's got a way of like getting away with things. I'm asking her about the trial because she's showing me. I'm in the court now. I'm in the courtroom because that's what she's showing me, and I'm asking her, "Can you like tell me, can you see how this is going to go?" Or she says no, she can't. And she says no, she doesn't know how it's going to go, and she can't tell me. Neither do my guides, by the way. But what she's telling me is that there's more. Like the preliminary hearing, a lot came out, but it wasn't all of it. So both sides have kept a lot of like discovery and evidence that they haven't put forth yet, but there's a lot more, and more people are going to be involved in this trial. Uh Not just witnesses, right? I'm not just talking about witnesses, but they're going to get sucked into all of this because they were involved. She's saying there are other girls that probably are afraid to talk because, oh my god, okay. I'm going to tell you what she's saying. So David has a lot of kinks, all right? And he likes some rough play in bed. And he has these fantasies that he wants to fulfill. One of them's role playing, things like that. I don't remember if it came through in the last reading that I did. Um so she also had to do things in bed that A, she hadn't done before, and B, she wasn't 100% on board, but she did it for him because she was so smitten. She didn't want to lose him. Okay, she's embarrassed about something else that she's saying. She said that she has a sense of humor. She's sweet. She's very sweet. Okay, so you guys will relate. Friends fans up out here, okay? Do you remember when Ross and Rachel were on a break and Ross went and made out with another woman, and Rachel just kept it like when they got back together, she was always like, "Yeah, but you went and kissed someone else. You did." And he was like always like, but we were on a break." Remember that? This is what I'm getting. I keep hearing, and she's showing me the scene from Friends. Um, she did make out and sleep with other men, but she's saying we were on a break. You know, she's giving me the Ross. I can see Ross saying it. And David, despite the fact that he's no angel, okay, did not do well. Like he wanted to have exclusivity of girls, but he didn't want the girls to have exclusivity of him. No, or the other way around. So he was okay with making out with other, but she's saying like we were like prized possessions for him. Okay. So he liked younger girls also because he could manipulate, and he was a master manipulator, or is still a master manipulator. Excuse me, I have to clear out my throat. I can still feel it. Something's bothering me in my throat. Let's see what else she's showing me. The good news for all of you who care, and she appreciates and she thanks everybody who are supportive of her family, who are making sure that Celeste's voice is being heard. She's why am I losing her? Don't go away. Where are you? Come back. Hold on. I can see a orange cat. Cats kept her very grounded. She loved cats because their energy would regulate her energy and also her nervous system. She's saying, hold on. What were you saying? I lost it. Come back. Oh, yeah. She said that the state in which her body was found was very, very disturbing. But she wants people to know that she didn't think she was under substances, and she was pretty much out of it when she lost her life. So she didn't really feel pain or the torture. Okay. So she wants to make that absolutely clear that luckily, thankfully, it wasn't a painful unaliving, I guess. She didn't feel all that. She didn't even realize that she had passed until she saw some of her ancestors and family members. And she even recognized, she says, her guide was there. And she would see her guide in her dreams, especially when she was younger, when she was a kid. She was a small kid, and she recognized her guide when she crossed over. And it was good that she says that immediately she felt safe and protected, and she felt blissful, she says, when she crossed over, right? So I'm losing her, but I just want to ask her one last question before she goes. And my question is going to be very direct. Did he give the order for them to do this to her? Did he do this to her? Am I getting this wrong? Like, what happened? This is what I want to know, and I want to hear it from her. She's going to make me cry. He's too much of a pussy to do it himself. Despite all this gore and emo songs and video clips and all of that, she said, yes, there's that dark side of him, but he also leans a lot on this dark side as marketing, as part of his brand. Yes, there is a dark side, but this is his brand, this is his voice. But he's too much of a pussy, she said. So he witnessed, though. I'm seeing him, you guys. He was in the room. He was in the room. So he's still guilty. Okay, he's guilty in that sense. Guilty for everything that he's done. The lies, the manipulation, dating an underage girl, moving her body, covering for whoever did it, whoever had the guts or whatever to do this. She says thank you and she's gone. She was a kid, you guys. She was really a kid. Like, she was not a woman. She was not a woman yet. She was a kid. Her energy was so childlike in a sense. And although she wanted to appear older and she was quite streetwise because she was used to being out and about in the streets and the people who she associated with, but she was still a child. Let's not forget that. So it's all horrible, horrible. I agree, Alexander. She deserves so much better. Let's see your questions. Hold on. I missed a couple of questions. Wait, you guys. Hold on. She aborted her baby from David. Is her baby near or with her? No, I don't see a baby near or with her. No. And I'm just getting when she had the abortion, it was quite fairly early on in the pregnancy. First trimester, it's not even past that. I'm getting, but no, there's no baby around her, or there wasn't when she was here. Let's see. How does she feel about her parents? Quiet. I don't know. I've lost her now. What I am hearing though, is that it was her relationship with her mom was very antagonistic to the point where she felt like her mom resented her or even was jealous of her. But they were always like fight and clash, and so yeah. I'm hearing, she's not here, but what I'm hearing through spirit is that, because you're asking how does she feel about her parents? She was a kid. You know how she felt? Yay. Yay. No one can stop us from being together and living our best life. And yes, I love you. And we can live together and do all these wonderful things. And I can travel with you. You know, she, at the time, she didn't care. She did not care. She did not care that her parents were okay with it and all of that and the exchange with David, because she was in a bubble and she was happy about the fact that basically they approved and basically they wanted to get rid of her. They couldn't. She was a wild child. Did her bio parents have custody of her at the time she met David? I don't know, because let's see if I can. Why am I getting an aunt? Is this the sister of Celeste's mom? Someone stepped up. And legally as well. So there was someone else, a family member. Legally, I think it's the aunt. There's an aunt there. I don't know if it's a faux aunt or an aunt, but from the mom's side of the family, who was the one who would sign and consent and things like that. So I don't know. I doubt then that they had custody, if that's the case, without being sure about it. Yeah. Yeah, the mom does. I'm getting. I mean, don't expect like a huge remorse, okay? She's sad, she's upset, she feels guilty, but not on the level that you would expect a mom to be after a mom lost her child, and when the mom is partly responsible for what happened. So there is, I feel some kind of like a little bit of remorse there. Yes, I do. I do feel that. Will the people who committed the act be convicted, and how many people? One. I'm getting one. There's one man I feel is going to be convicted, and that's because David is going to throw him under the bus. There are more people involved, but one is going to be involved and convicted. What was the motive behind them unaliving her? Did something? I said it from day one. This group of mm, people that he was surrounded by and he was friends with, they were all into these like younger girls. They were on this high, where there's this. I guess there is. I don't know because I'm not one, but I guess the men who are into kids or underage girls, partly what they love about the underage girls, aside from them being young and fresh and untouched and all of that stuff, I also feel it has to do, it's a power. It's like it's like sucking the power out of like a young child, a young human being, and absorbing that power and feeling like you're feeling powerful, feeling like you're like the magician, right? Like in tarot, like the magician, that you have control and power over this human being. Why? Because they're young, because they are innocent, because they are not, they're not experienced in life, because they're kids. And boom, that's what predators like and want. And usually predators are very weak. And I'll quote her, they're pussies. I'm going to quote Celeste, they're pussies. That's why they go for the young ones. So, what was the motive? So, to answer your question, combined with everything that I know about the case, everything that I've seen and received psychically, it was like a group of men that just enjoyed having power over these young girls. Some of them are runaways, some of them are like from broken dysfunctional families, some are like thirsty for like fame or being around famous people, or they're drawn or attracted to money and that lifestyle, and they manipulate these girls. I'm telling you, because I'm seeing it right in front of me right now as I speak. There are videos out there. I'm not sure if prosecution has them or they're going to find them eventually, but there are videos out there of schmexual acts, kinky stuff. Some is a bit gory as well, a little bit more snuffy, of young girls and some of these people. What I am seeing is they're wearing masks. Okay, they're wearing these like not creepy. Well, they are kind of creepy masks, but they look like out of a manga movie kind of thing. Like they're wearing, the adults, the men are wearing, and the girls are not. So I'm seeing that in front of me. So whether that's something that they already have or it's something that's going to come up during the trial, just before the trial. So I feel that the motivation of unaliving her was because they couldn't control her. She was hysterical. She was angry. They had no control over Celeste and what she might do or say or post. So, and also that's why they hang out with girls, young girls that come from broken families, broken homes, dysfunctional families, kids that are runaways and stuff, because the families don't care. They're not going to go looking for them. And if they do, they could dump the body somewhere and no one's going to ask the right questions. They're going to be like, oops, there, we found her. She's been missing for how long? Oh, we found her. Yeah, it was foul play, but we don't know who did it. So they were relying on that. You know what? Well, on one hand, I personally feel that Celeste actually saved other girls, because eventually, if it didn't happen to Celeste, it would have happened to someone else. And if it had happened to someone else and they never got caught, it would have happened again and again. This is how sick and twisted they are. Will the parents get charged with neglect? Yes. Yes, I've said this from day one, they will. Because they're responsible. They're partly responsible. She was under their care as a child, as a minor. So, yes, they will. When you connect to a person, do you see them in a human form or do you feel an energy? It depends. It's very different. Depends. So, for instance, Celeste, I couldn't see her full form. I could see her like from here on up, like a hologram a little bit, like you can't fully see all of the features and the details, but you can feel their essence. I can feel their essence and I can hear them because I'm also clairvoyant, clairaudient, sorry. And what they do is it's telepathic almost. Is what they do is like they will send my mind pictures, sentences, names, locations, like little videos. So that's how they communicate with me. It's not like I can hear them with my actual ear, but what they do is telepathically, I can hear them in my mind and I can hear everything that they say. It depends. Other times, in mediumship readings, for instance, I might have someone that I literally see. I can describe what they're wearing, even what kind of like cologne or perfume they're wearing. It depends on the spirit, how long ago they passed. There are many, many reasons. And it's a good question because with victims of crime, and especially if they've been deformed or the means of unaliving is very, very traumatic or very bad, usually they'll show up like Celeste. Like you won't see them fully, or you might just hear them, or you just might feel the energy in the room changing. And then suddenly you know things or you hear things. I'm also clairsentient, which means a lot of times I know things and I don't know how I know them. It's just boom, it comes in. Okay. Not in my everyday life while I'm walking, or yeah, well, I do sometimes. These are downloads, what I call downloads. Will suddenly, where I'm walking or minding my own business, the energy will change around me. My ears might pop or might ring. I might get a slight headache. And I know at that moment that I'm about to receive something. So usually if I can, depends on what I'm doing, I will just stand still or sit still and just focus on what's coming down, right? What is going through. And usually I'll just put them in my notes app, or when I come home, I write them down. If it has, for instance, if it's like predictions and world events and things like that. But yeah, it works differently. It works differently. A lot of times I just know things and I don't know how I know them. It's information that I've received maybe while I was asleep, while I was getting a download, but it's there. Another Femi approves of my hair. Thank you for approving. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks everybody. Good, because I was worried about the low lights because I found them you guys, because of the lights here, it all looks lighter. It's actually darker, but it's okay. It's all about getting used to it. I believe that it was because he didn't factor in dum that it was a hot day. It was August. It was super hot. July, I don't remember. It was super hot. And bodies decompose. He thought, you know what? No one's going to look at in my Tesla when it's parked in a car park. No one's going to, look in my car. So when I come back from my tour traveling wherever he was, I'm just going to move the body. Dumb. I called him dumb last time I read him. Dumb idiot. Is he dumb or is he arrogant or is he both? What a combination. The Idol, to do what they did to Celeste. It's Sam Levinson's show with The Weeknd and Lily Rose Depp, and it was about the music industry. I haven't watched. I should. No. I'm getting a no. There was no inspiration. They So the reason why there were so many stabbings and dismemberments and things like that was because they were trying to find the best way of getting rid of her without to make it more difficult for uh, police to be able to identify her, and also to make it seem like it was like a violent kind of crime. So I'm gonna say this: it doesn't feel premeditated. It just feel it's not premeditated. Go find, tomorrow. You follow Celeste when she's there. Then that's what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna alive her. No, I just get, as I said, I just get that in a panic, they had to do something. He had to do something because they couldn't control her. She was irate. She was not, they couldn't communicate with her. They couldn't get through to her, and they were afraid what she might do, say. And again, don't forget what Celeste told me, that she had recorded a video where she does reveal a lot of stuff and she never posted it. So I don't know. I hope the police found it, but it's on some kind of, like, you know what, Discord. Why am I hearing Discord? Discord. Check Discord. Like, police, lawyers, everybody, like, check Discord. There's stuff there that I feel they've missed on her Discord and his. But I don't get that, to be honest. I mean, I asked my guys and they said no. Was there a karmic debt involved? 100%. I tell you, if it wasn't going to be Celeste, it was going to be someone else eventually. Oh, I nearly dropped my cup. So that was an energy that was building up. The problem is, I mean, I'm glad they got caught, but the problem is that if they hadn't gotten found out and caught with Celeste, they would have done it again. It would have happened sooner or later. This is what I'm getting. So, yeah. No, I answered that. She said no. Well, she was alive, but she had passed out, so she didn't feel anything. But not when they dismembered her. This was with the stabbings and all that stuff. So she didn't feel, luckily, anything. Luckily. That's a blessing, actually. The idol was absolutely terrible, but he shows have a cult-like following. The Weeknd's character led a cult in the show. The Weeknd also gives me like really creepy vibes. Sorry, but just saying, his energy's waff, in my opinion. I was gonna say way off, and it went waff, but yeah, it's waff. Okay, his energy. I don't know. Everyone's loving my hair. You guys, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I feel it makes me look younger or fresher. Let's call it fresher. If her body wasn't found, she wouldn't have gotten justice. Her parents wouldn't have fought, and David wouldn't have. I agree. But things worked out. Now the karmic debt. Did I answer that? No, I didn't. Sorry, I'm all over the place. And now we'll get to Lindsay Clancy. There was definitely karmic debt. Oh my God, David. You know what I saw? In a past life too, he was a perpetrator. In a past life, he's done this before in previous lifetimes. Yeah, he's done this before. It's about power and manipulation with him. Does anybody remember his sign? Oh, he's an Aries. I was going to say, because I'm getting like fire energy around him. I remember the last time when we did a live, someone said they looked and they said he was born on the 20th of March, which would make him an Aries. How much? I feel they're very innocent in all this. I don't think they're aware of anything. I feel that they're like their heads up in the clouds. That I don't think that I don't feel that they suspected him or anything like that. I just feel that, yeah. No, Tenny answered this earlier. I don't see him taking a plea. He's going to throw this guy that I saw from day one under the bus. He's not taking a plea. He would have taken the plea now. Why not take the plea now before or after the preliminary hearing or just before the preliminary, or I guess, just to save face, if you will, in a sense, because a lot came out, a lot of details came out of the preliminary hearing. But no, this guy is too arrogant to do that. But that's something that he will have to live with. Alexander says he has a lot of Aries placements, very, very impulsive energy. Aries. Oh, Jean, you're fantastic. Well, I'll bring it up in a minute. Did Celeste's spirit lead the tow yard worker to find her body? I strongly feel like her spirit led someone to the discovery of her body. 100%, because she was around the car. Her spirit, her soul would not leave the car. It would just stay there until someone found her or someone started suspecting what was in the car. So she didn't leave, and it took her about a couple of weeks, she said, for her to fully transition. She was refusing to leave the earth plane because she was worried that because he's a master manipulator, that he would be able to turn things around and get away with it. So yes, she definitely, and she still is. She's still helping with the trial, with the investigation, everything. She's very much around. Aries sign, Aries moon sign, Scorpio ascendant sign, Sagittarius. Oh, this guy. This guy, so many Aries, and then we have a Scorpio ascendant. Yeah, he does have dark fantasies. He does go to the dark side. Yes, fetishes. So it all tracks with what Celeste was saying. Fetishes, fantasies, ropes and tyings and slight torturous stuff, but not too much. And he also, you guys, something last thing I want to say about him, and then we'll move on, is that in his mind, also, he's also playing a role. I don't know how to explain this. I'll try to explain this as best as I can. Like, it's almost like how I feel his energy is like almost like he's adopting or he's taken on this role of superstar singer artist, and part of his like fantasies and fetishes and sexual stuff is also because he believes that this is what all famous people are like. That they have control over younger people. Yeah, he's not wrong. A lot of them are. Look at Epstein, look at all his friends, look at everybody else and their dirty little secrets. And in his mind, he was playing a role because he was manifesting, if you will, this for him to become the next, I don't know, Jay-Z. Jay-Z maybe is a bad example. Actually, it's a perfect example because Jay-Z is evil and dark too. Okay. And he likes them young too, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only. But, so in his mind, he was also playing a role, which was this arrogance and this, I'm famous. All these girls are, like dropping on my feet and do. So this guy, one way or another, he's dangerous. Okay. Whether it's because he unalived someone, whether it's because he likes them young, or whether it's because he is dark, but he likes to go darker, even though he might be a little bit afraid. He might not be sure about it because he's playing a role in his mind. Sag rising makes sense. Seems deep and knowledgeable, but he isn't very mature. Very mature, yeah, and deeply emotional. He's dark and obsessive. Sag rising also means that he's not someone who was fully committed to Celeste or any of the girls, and he would never be. Okay, Sag rising, they're like free spirit. They're like, you know what? Everyone can have a little piece of me. Girls, you can share. Okay, don't fight. Everyone can have a little bit of me kind of vibe and energy. No idea. I need to update myself regarding that. I'll get back to you on that. 100. I haven't listened to it. I was gonna say, you know how I saw the ropes and the kinks and stuff. I was also how they took me there. Spirit took me there is like they showed me 50 Shades of Gray. 50 Shades of Gray. And we know that the ropes and the special knots and all stuff is Japanese. It comes from Japan. So everything's connected. Everything's connected. I don't think that he was abused as a kid. I just feel that this is his character and this is who he is, and he really leaned into this role, into this character, into this all of it. And he got immersed into it, and he ended up doing what he did. Does it? Does it? How's my audio for the rest of you guys? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Definitely someone doesn't want me talking. More Mars than plutonium. 100 of Martian, 100% energy. Anyways, that's it with David. Shall we move on to the next case now? Because this one is also an important case. Okay, what I'm gonna do real quick, I'm gonna play you a real quick video which recaps this case very, very well, just for those of you who are not familiar with this case, the case of Lindsay Clancy, who unfortunately, very tragically, unalived her 3 very, very, very young children due to postpartum psychosis. So here's the thing, the trial's ongoing. What they are trying to prove now is whether it was psychosis, so it was something that happened in the split of the moment, she did the split of the moment, or whether this was premeditated and she knew exactly what she was doing. Let me play this video, and while I'm playing the video, I'm just gonna reset the energy here and start the reading. Oh, people are saying it's going on and off a little. I'm sorry, you guys, but some people are saying the audio is good. So I don't know what's happening. Also, don't forget, even though Mercury's gone direct, there's still the shadow period that we're all feeling. The shadow period, it's what's today? For the next couple of days until the 4th. Shadow period, usually it's even worse than the actual retrograde. So that could also be it right now with these techie issues. All right, let me play this video. All right.
May 2022. Lindsay Clancy gives birth to her 3rd child, 8-month-old Callan. She already has 2 others, 5-year-old Cora and 3-year-old Dawson. Within weeks, her mental health begins to collapse. September 2022. Lindsay starts seeing a psychiatrist. Diagnosis: generalized anxiety disorder. First prescription: Zoloft. October 2022. Zoloft isn't working. Doctors add Ativan, then Prozac, which makes everything worse. Over the next weeks, more medications are added. Ambien, Remeron, Klonopin, Seroquel. Her husband Patrick will later say she was prescribed her 13th medication in just 4 months. December 2022. Lindsay tells her husband she is hearing a man's voice, telling her this was her last chance, that she should die, that she had to take her children with her. Patrick tells the doctors she is 10,000 times worse since starting the medications. Their response? Increase the dose. December 20th, 2022. Lindsay checks herself into a partial hospitalization program at Women and Infants Hospital in Rhode Island. Staff determine she's been over-medicated and misdiagnosed. They rule rules she doesn't qualify for their postpartum psychosis program because she has no prior psychosis history, and send her back to the exact same providers who have been treating her. January 24th, 2023. At approximately 5:15 p.m., Lindsay sends Patrick to pick up a prescription at CVS and dinner from a restaurant they've never ordered from before. Prosecutors say she deliberately chose a restaurant further away and used Apple Maps to calculate exactly how long the errand would take. 5:15 to 6:09 p.m. Patrick is gone for 54 minutes. He speaks with Lindsay twice on the phone during that window. She sounds calm, normal. Nothing seems wrong. 6:09 p.m. Patrick returns home to a silent house. He forces open a locked bedroom door, finds blood on the floor, an open window. Downstairs, his 3 children, strangled with exercise resistance bands. Outside, Lindsay in the backyard, having jumped from the second-story window, still conscious, paralyzed from the sternum down. January 24th, night. Cora and Dawson are pronounced dead. January 27th, 2023. 8-month-old Callan dies at Boston Children's Hospital. Days later, Patrick posts a public GoFundMe statement forgiving Lindsay and asking the public to do the same. 2024. Patrick files a wrongful death lawsuit against Lindsay's medical providers, arguing they missed every warning sign of postpartum psychosis. Present day. Lindsay Clancy pursues an insanity defense. Her trial begins Monday, July 20th, 2026, and is expected to last 6 to 8 weeks. Patrick is on both the prosecution and defense witness lists.
This one is not easy. I'm already getting emotional. Oh, Lord, you know why? What's the young boy called? Callan, the 8-month-old. The whole day, I kept feeling and seeing this little boy around me. Okay, not the older kids. And by the way, I just want to hold on because we need to do this. Okay, these are her children with Patrick. Okay, and their names are Cora is the oldest. She was 5 years old. Dawson, who was 3, and Callan the baby, who was 8 months old. Okay, this is the beautiful family. I'm getting emotional. And this is Lindsay Clancy at trial. Oh, Lord. Okay, so the baby's being around. I'm sorry if I get emotional. You know me. You know me. There is here, we have a contract, okay? There is karmic debt here, a contract between Lindsay and specifically the little one, the baby. Callan, I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly. And this was all supposed to happen. This was all part of this contract. All right. So give me a minute because I'm receiving some stuff. I'm also very connected to the little baby. Although the baby doesn't have much to say. But I will tell you what I'm getting, everything that I'm getting. So Lindsay's mental health, even before she got pregnant and she had the kids, was a bit fragile, is what I'm receiving. She had on and off depression. Most people do. I mean, it's not a bad thing. Most people can have seasonal depression, anxiety disorder, anxiety. So she had depression on and off, but she always felt that she was strong enough to tackle it herself and, just go on with her life. She never felt that she needed medication or anything to help her with that until she became a mom. So even with Cora, she did have, I'm getting the baby blues, postpartum depression, not as bad as it was before all this happened, but she did have it with the other kids. With Cora, it was worse than with Dawson. And what I'm hearing is because Dawson, when she had Dawson, because Cora was still quite little, like most of her focus and her energy was on both the kids, so the newborn and Cora. And that kind of like helped with the depression. But when the third baby came along, things just happened. Even during her pregnancy, she said she had very weird dreams. She had feelings that she was going to lose the baby, I'm hearing. So throughout her pregnancy with Callan, there was that she kept saying, and I'm getting that she shared that with Patrick, her husband, her ex-husband. Now they've divorced now, but that she felt that something's going to happen to him, that she might lose this baby, and then towards the end, just before she gave birth, she felt like something might go wrong during labor. So there was a lot of anxiety around that pregnancy and around that baby. And it was all triggered when he was born. And she loved those kids. Okay. She loved those kids because I feel that energy. I feel the love right now. And let me tell you, those kids from there, over there, from the spirit world, love her back. They don't hold a grudge. They're not angry. They're confused, but they do not hate their mom for what she did. They understand that this was a contractual thing and a karmic thing, karmic debt that had to happen. They know this now in spirit. Yeah. She was very disturbed. Patrick, okay, so a couple of things that I'm hearing and I'm getting. Patrick is not to be blamed. Okay, some people may blame Patrick that he didn't do enough, he didn't do things early enough for her, he wasn't supportive enough, whatever. I don't know what people are saying, but what I will say is this, that Patrick, with Callan, with the third child, he knew that things were serious, that things were bad with his wife, that he hadn't seen before. He probably felt like, postpartum depression. She's going to get the therapy that she needs. She's going to get the support that she needs. She'll overcome it. So he took it seriously, but it's like, he knew that Lindsay will snap out of it, if you will, for lack of a better word. That's an awful way of saying it, but that she would recover from the depression and everything else. You guys, I'm hearing right now as I'm talking that she had undiagnosed bipolar. She was on the spectrum of bipolarism. And, I know this because I have two family members. One of them is very close to me. It's my godmother, my aunt, who's bipolar, very, very bad. She's in and out of clinics. It's so bad. And let me tell you, up until the age of 50, no one knew that she had bipolar. She didn't there were signs. But when her brother unalived himself, boom, it triggered. It all, the floodgates opened, and her bipolarism, I think I'm saying it correctly. Bipolarism, I hope I'm saying it correctly, but bipolar it was just triggered and got worse. Similarly, I'm getting with Lindsay. Now, what happened on the day of, this is a bit of a complicated case, okay? In what sense? In what way? I'll explain. So if she had psychosis, if she had postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis, which is what the defense is claiming or stating, she couldn't have premeditated this. She couldn't have planned it, right? Right. But wrong at the same time, because what I'm getting was that there were times when she would fall into this dark hole where she was planning in her head and mind how she would save her kids. Again, the attention is on Callan, on the baby, because when he was born, she felt like that baby was going to, something would happen to him and it would take her and Patrick, Lindsay and Patrick, away from the other kids. So in her mind, Callan was dangerous in the sense, like dangerous to the family, to their well-being. Not that a baby, a newborn, could harm them, but again, in her mind, right? So there were times when she would think, how do I protect my other kids? How do I protect the family? Do I get rid of Callan? What do I do? And on the day, so there was some kind of planning, but these were like intrusive thoughts that she would have here and there, but she wouldn't act on them. On the day of, I'm hearing and seeing that she acted on this planning. She was, you guys, I'm connecting to her energy. She's not disassociated completely. I bet you if they, I don't know, I haven't followed the case closely. As soon as I came across this case because of Annie Elise, I love her. She's amazing. It was like it popped up on my feed on my feed one day, and I'm like, oh, I paid attention, and that's when I saw the baby. That's when I started connecting. I'm like, I've got to do this reading because I do have a connection. So what? Where was I? So Callan, the baby, sorry. Do you know what the initial plan was? Or what would have been her maybe preferred way of doing this? Would have been fire, burning the house. But she said she did. She doesn't. She's alive, by the way. She's just been paralyzed because she jumped out of the window after she did that. She didn't have enough time before Patrick came back from running his errands. So disassociation is what I'm feeling and getting. While all this happened, she was not connected to her body. She was fully unaware of what was happening. She snapped out of it after she did it. After she did it, it's like, it feels like how it's been shown to me. It's like a vacuum, like a vacuum, feeling of a vacuum. And like her soul went back into her body. And then as soon as she saw what she did, it was like she wasn't even thinking at that point. It was like, run, It wasn't even, I want to say it's not even like an attempted, an aliving self-deletion. It's just like confusion. She just ran towards the window and jumped out, like a cartoon. They jump out of a window and nothing happens to them. They keep going. So in her mind, this is how disassociated she was from what happened. I want to say, see the picture I showed you. Where is it? Oh my God, this is such a bad. Here and other pictures that I saw while I was trying to do the thumbnail and find pictures, etc. I connected to her energy, and she's not well. Let me just say she's not well. Maybe she's heavily medicated again. But she's not well. She's not there. Lights out. The lights are out. That's it. She's a shell of herself. It doesn't matter what she gets, or if she's deemed crazy or murder or whatever. That's it. She's checked out. She's checked out after that completely. Yeah. And yes, I will say that the doctors are heavily responsible for 13 or 14 different psychiatric medication. Like, you guys, the list, hold on. Zoloft, lorazepam, diazepam. That, I mean, just to name 3 out of the 14. That's a lot. It really messes with your wiring, with your nervous system, with everything. So I'm looking at them, you guys. I'm looking at them. How I see it and how I'm connecting to the energy of all of this. She's not a cold blooded unaliver. No, she's not. This woman, unfortunately, was very unlucky because she didn't have the right support system around. And unfortunately, this is a problem of our days. Doctors prescribe antidepressants, anti-anxiety, sleeping pills, this and that so easily. So easily. It's like you go to the doctor, you're like, you know what? The past week, I haven't been myself. I've been crying a lot. I just feel down. You've got depression. You know what? I've got the perfect remedy for that. Let me give you antidepressants for your problem. No, actually, my problem may be depression, but it could be because I'm stressed because of work. It could be 1,000 other things. Isn't there any other way that I can get over this? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Yeah, there are cases that you do need to take antipsychotic medication or very heavy stuff to help you and treat whatever you have. But in this case, you guys, it's very, very sad. But the combination of all the stuff that she was taking, the state of her mental health, failing mental health, the combination of that, there also something I forgot to mention. My guides are reminding me. She and Patrick, he was a lovely husband, a lovely father, but they weren't getting along. There was a lot of tension between them and complain. There were a lot of complaints. They were arguing. You know, there wasn't it wasn't like a peaceful environment at home. Plus, she had 3 kids, all of them under the age of what 5. It's a lot. So, but and I blame, yes, me personally, Natalie, I blame the doctors. I blame her support system for allowing her to be zombified by the big pharma, because a lot of doctors want to keep their pharma clients happy because they get their trips paid for and they get luxury cars and they get, 2 weeks in resorts and bonuses. Doctors get bonuses from pharmas. And I hope this case really starts a conversation that we all need to have again about over medicating, about because this is sweeping things under the rug when you over medicate someone who actually needs direction, support, psychotherapy, therapy, consultation, all of the stuff. When you over medicate them, it's basically sweeping these problems under the rug. And eventually, this is what happened. This is what happened because eh, the medication had the opposite effect of what was supposed to do. She was zombified. It completely messed with, her neurons and her wiring, her brain wiring, because this is what they do. This is what these medications do. And this woman's out. Like, she's checked out. Like, I'm connecting to her energy now. She's alive. Connect to her energy. Nobody's home. Nobody's home. Let me see what you guys are saying. This is... Was she coming in and out of insanity when you mean when she unalived those kids? It's hard to tell because things happened within I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. I'm getting like things happen fast. I don't know if she was in or out. The outcome to be what would have happened? No, that was the outcome. Nothing. It was in their contracts. It was going to happen. And poor Callum. I mean, I don't want people thinking that the little baby, the newborn or the baby was the one who triggered all this. No, 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 no. Of course not. But from the moment she got pregnant with him, there was something about him that she was obsessed by or scared about. And people who have mental health issues or who suffer from psychosis or schizophrenia, they're very connected to the spirit world. They just don't know it a lot of times. It's a little bit muddled from hallucinations to what they're actually seeing. So I feel like she knew very well. Let me rephrase that. I feel like her soul, on a soul level, she knew that the day was going to come when this was going to happen. So even from the moment she found out she was pregnant to him, she knew that there was a countdown to that happening. Her soul knew about it. So it really just brought her down, made her worse. Yeah, yeah, you noticed, huh? It's yeah, I tell you, she's checked, she's not there. The poor guy, he's such a good soul. Like I feel he's a sweet soul. I feel he would never say, despite the tragedy and the fact that she unalived his kids, I feel he's one who will never say anything overly mean or bad about her. He will try to protect his deceased kids as much as he can. And for as long as she's alive, he's never going to make things worse for her by saying things about her or by hating her or creating resentment. There is resentment, but I do feel that he's going to get married again. He will start over. Which is good news for Patrick. I hope he does, but he will. We have the expert. That's a lot of, isn't it? 14? Like, can you imagine? Also, can you imagine what this could do to her liver, to her kidneys? Like, if you take so many psychosis meds for a prolonged time, this will eventually destroy your organs. It's going to destroy your body, your physical health. Correct me if I'm wrong. We have a lot of family nurses. Yay to the family nurses. Yeah, segments all at once. Crazy. So I want those doctors to be held accountable. I really do. If I was Patrick, I would go after those doctors. I'm not saying on the day that she was overly medicated, like she took all of these 14. They just say that in a day she could take up to 14 meds. On the day, it wasn't the meds that I'm not blaming the meds on the day. I blame her mental state and the fact that she was on all these medications for a prolonged time. So yeah. Thank you, Explorer, for the 20 euro. I was going to say the $20 super chat. If she was planning prior to unaliving them by law, she's guilty. She knew right from wrong, maybe mentally. And that's why I feel that she will be found guilty and like for premeditated unaliving. I don't think that I don't feel that they will, the verdict's going to be that it was psychosis and, she needs to be locked up in a mental health institution or psychiatric ward or anything like that. She is going to prison. She will go to prison. He already remarried. Oh, he did? Because I do see a kid. In around him. So, okay, I'm happy for him. Oh, he remarried and has that. Okay, so that's what I'm picking up on. So there you go. Good for Patrick. I'm glad he remarried and started over. Can you at some point look at Lucy Leppy, a nurse in the UK that has been, I know. Oh, yes. I know. Isn't she the one that she was accused for unaliving like babies from the NICU? Hold on, what's her name? Lucy Letby. Yeah. Jailed for killing. Okay, on the war. Okay. Yeah, I know. Uh I'll do the reading. I haven't read into it, but me as Natalie, just as an outsider, not as a psychic. Okay. I can never turn it off, but there you go. I think she's I believe she's innocent. I believe she's innocent. Also, husband turned in all her medication bottles and it showed she wasn't taking her medication. Lindsay told an ER nurse she took that gummy and checked herself out of the psych unit. At some point she was taking all these medications though. At some point she was. Maybe she wasn't at that. And again, I'm not going to blame the medication for what happened on the day, but I do blame the medication for her state, how she ended up. So, but thank you for that, and thank you for the other super chat as well. Thank you. Thank you, Explorer. And you were recently had a baby, because I do feel, is it a boy? Does anybody know if the baby's a boy? And does his name start with there's a K there, or a couple of K's in his name? If anybody knows. What's the overlap with his new wife and Lindsay? He moved on so quickly. I see what you mean. I don't know. Sorry, I have to hydrate because my throat. No, I don't feel that. He did move on pretty quickly. I agree with you. But you know what? Maybe that's healing for him. He needed a partner. He needed someone who would be a strong support system for him through this. So I don't blame him. I'm not the type who's going to start accusing or blaming or judging people who move on, especially if they haven't done anything wrong, after a tragedy. I understand for some people this could be healing, or this is what he needs, or he really needed to have another child with someone to help him heal from the loss of his 3 children. Thank you, everybody who's just joining the chat. Oh, you guys, really, I feel so much better when I'm here, because I wasn't feeling that confident before. Her mental well-being was already not good even before the meds, but taking a cocktail of meds obviously did not help her situation. No, she was not well. Look at that. The new wife's, I tell you, so let's not judge him. He needed to have another child. I'm also getting he might have another one. There's going to be another one. He needs, this is healing for him. He needs to do this. It's all right, Patrick. We understand. I mean, it's tragic. It's tragic. The meds could exacerbate the underlying issue. I don't know. I would like to hear from the nurses and the doctors in the chat. We have a lot of them. I mean, what is your professional opinion? I mean, obviously you cannot, you haven't examined anyone. These are just your opinions based on what you know. But it would be interesting to see what you guys have to say about this. And while we're waiting, just a quick reminder, you guys, before you forget to like this video and do subscribe if you're new here. Also, before you guys go, Nancy Guthrie, real quick update for you. So, news have come out about her abduction. This is the Jasmine brand. Okay, this was sent to me by Kempire, who he also follows her. Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy, was unalive shortly after abduction, which is exactly what I said. You can go back and watch the video. I said that she was unalive straight after, and what did I say? It was an accident. Ransom note claims that was accidental, which is exactly what I said, that it was accidental, her unaliving, but they were carrying her body, unfortunately, from one place to, they were moving her around. And over here, what she says, is that authorities investigating the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today co-anchor Savannah Guthrie, publicly released the full text of the 2 ransom notes in hopes that someone will recognize the writing style or identify the person responsible. So, according to the county sheriff's department, the first note demanded $4 million. We knew that, we had heard of that, and threatened Nancy's life. But what's interesting is, where are you guys? Nancy was already unalived by the time they sent out this ransom note, which is what I had said back then. A second message sent several days later claimed Nancy was unalived shortly after her abduction due to an undisclosed heart condition. There was no undisclosed heart condition. What's her name? Savannah and the family were pleading to the abductors, our mom has a pacemaker and she has heart issues. She needs her meds. Insisting her unaliving was accidental and that she had been buried in nature. There you go. Everything that you guys told you is confirmed here by the Pima County Sheriff's Department. So, and what I've said is also Nancy will eventually be found and the family needs closure. Although once she's found, she's buried in a shallow grave not far from her home. And what is interesting that once Nancy's found, it's really going to open another can of worms about who the abductors are. And if you remember in the first big reading that I did when all this went down, I told you that the Guthrie family has a lot of secrets. A lot of secrets. Yeah, they seem like very, respectable. Savannah is obviously an anchor. She's very popular. She's famous. Nancy's a little old lady or wasn't a little old lady. Don't let appearances deceive you, everybody. As soon as she's found, Nancy, I'm going to do another reading on that because this is everything that I've gotten around this case. I have shared with you. I've done a couple of readings on Nancy, but if you're new here, you will find the reading if you go onto my channel, and you can use the search bar and just add her name on the search bar and it will show you, it will bring up the video. So there you go, you guys. Okay, some psychic meds can cause ideations. And you mean when they're combined or just on their own? What happens if, for instance, you combine medication like Zoloft, lorazepam, Xanax, things like that? What happens then? Ooh, and I have some predictions for South Africa too. You'll have to hold off, wait until I record that video, by the way. So to stabilize a mental health condition, symptoms takes years, if ever, to stabilize. Very difficult to get right meds. She has my wholehearted love, just a bad situation. Thank you. Thank you for that. I know that from my aunt who's bipolar and very severe that, yeah, it stabilizes that there are ups and downs. And obviously there's the people like my aunt, for instance, when they start feeling great, the meds are working, start feeling great. They're like, I don't need the meds. Forget it. And then they stop taking them and then they just go downhill. My aunt changes, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. She's the sweetest, most loving, generous human being when she is good and on her meds. When she isn't, she is a real mean bitch. Let me tell you. And I'm being honest, she can be so mean to people, to her nurses, to her doctors, and then she feels awful. But that's the danger with people who suffer from bipolar. It's just like once they come out of this mania and this darkness, they feel so bad about things that they've done and things that they've said that there's the danger that they might self-delete, but thank you for that. That's been the whole time. I've thought something really weird happened here, almost like a warning to her. Yeah. 100%. Peoria, Arizona, near a pond or a lake. Yeah, there is There is a body of water nearby, although it's quite dry, but it feels like a man-made lake or pond or something. Yes, I did see that when I connected to her, and it's a shallow grave. And what I did see is like the dogs digging her up, whether it's hyenas, I don't know if they have hyenas or wild dogs, coyotes or something, like wild dogs, maybe like sniffing her out and just digging. So like what I've seen is like accidentally they will find her. It's not like they're out there still actively looking for her body. No, accidentally they will find her. Some meds can't be mixed, yeah. On their own, there's always the potential of ideations, which is one of the reasons why those patients are monitored very closely, especially when beginning with them. And also what I find weird is like, I don't know, I would love to hear from you guys. Like, would you prescribe these types of like strong psychosis meds to a woman that's just given birth? With the hormones and everything, because you don't know how her body is going to react as well with the hormones and these changes. I remember with my postpartum depression, I wasn't, people think that when you're depressed, you cry, okay, and you're in a dark hole. With me, it wasn't that. It was just looking at my daughter, and I was literally thinking that I gave birth to an alien. I'm not joking here. I'm absolutely serious here. I really thought I was looking at her and I could not see a human baby. I could see an alien. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy, okay? But this is how it was, the hormones, it was the depression. And I was just holding her and I'm like, what do I do with her? She's not mine. Take her away. And I would tell my midwife, because my midwife helped me deliver. And then for a month, midwives come and visit you at home. They help you with everything that you need for you and your baby. And I was like, take her. She's not mine, And then I would sit and watch, like I would sit in bed and watch like the most depressing movies and just make myself cry. And I wouldn't get out of bed. Like I would get out of bed to like, I don't know, change a nappy. I was nursing, so I didn't even need to like make bottles or anything. So, and I would cry and cry and cry and cry. And then I just didn't feel a connection with my baby. It took a while. And that was like a slippery slope, because you realize that, or I realized that I was not that I wasn't connecting. I swear to you guys, for the first few days, I really thought that I hadn't given birth to her and I had a natural birth. I didn't even have an epidural. I was in water, gave birth in water. She came out. So she was my baby. But I just couldn't. And I felt terrible because I was like, I'm supposed to take care of this human being, but it's not mine. Weird. It really messes with your head. So as someone who's been through it, it really messes with you. And I bet hormones as well. Exactly, Alexandra. I know. I still call my kids my aliens. They don't appreciate the humor, but one day they'll understand. Yeah, totally. What you were saying. So the body we found in September, that was me. Yeah, that was me. I feel like around September is when she'll be found. Yes. What happened to Aaron Rodgers? There's an NFL player called Aaron Rodgers. He claims that he's married, but no one has ever met his wife, including his family. People think it is AI. Let me write this down. We can do this on the next live, because now I'm just, those 2 readings were quite heavy. So I don't want to do any more readings right now, but it's on my short list. There you go. You have proof. There you go. Yeah, you guys, I have you to hold me accountable. When I promise something, I really want to follow through. I know sometimes I don't. But life happens. But here we are. Hold me accountable. All right, you guys. Joey's like, bam. I don't know. We'll do a mini read on him. The realtor in Texas who murdered her friend 12 years ago. They used new DNA genetics. Who is that? What's the name of this realtor? I did a realtor. Recently I did a reading on a realtor. Who's the name? Okay. Down below in the comments, you add your suggestions. If there is a reading that is quite popular in the comment section, then I'm going to do that one next after the predictions and after the eclipse readings. Okay, you guys? But the predictions I'm going to record tomorrow, so you'll have it very, very soon. And the eclipse readings as well within this next week. It's going to come up because that's takes more time because it's 12 signs. But yeah, I will let you know as well. Myra Velasquez, why do I feel that I have done a reading on her? I'll have to check. Let me write this. Myra Velasquez. Is she the one that went for a viewing? Didn't she go to, was she supposed to meet with these like Russian clients, or they appeared to be foreign or had a Russian accent, and she went to show them a house? Is that who she is? Because I remember a case with a realtor. Anywho, thank you guys for your suggestions. Okay, Explorer says no. Okay, that's a different one. All right, I'm gonna look into that. I've written it down. All right, you guys, thank you for joining on this Sunday Psychic Hour. So good to hang out. So as promised, next week you're gonna have some goodies coming for you. And next week, I don't know when. It could be Friday, it could be Thursday. We're gonna do a members live because I owe you that one. And we have some stuff we need to talk about that we can't talk on the main channel. And then, of course, because I love you, I'm going to give out some free lightning readings for the members. All right, you guys, take care. Have a beautiful week. Have a beautiful Sunday. Take care of yourselves. Go out in the sun. If it's not daytime wherever you are, go lay under the stars. Go lay under the stars. I love you guys. See you soon. Bye, everybody. Bye.